Hey everybody, welcome back to the Landor family. What they say, everything with
Everything
the
with the Landors.
Landors.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we are coming to you with a video. Some of you may know my hubby, I don't know what I just said. My hubby is in the military and he is in the Army, and we are currently at our first duty station. So we are going to tell you, well, he's going to tell you, well, we both going to tell you because we both know why he joined the Army, why he decided to join the Army.
Yes.
So let's jump right into the story. So where do you want to begin?
I guess I'll begin with
Let's go back to
I mean it's a big story. Okay, so me and her both graduated from Southeastern Louisiana University.
Go Lions.
I graduated fall of 2016. She
And I
graduated
graduated spring of 2017.
Jesus Christ, yeah, she did. So when I graduated, being a scholarship athlete, I really didn't.
Oh my God.
No. I really didn't.
Okay.
I really didn't have a plan. Like as far as when school and football is over with, what are you gonna do? Most athletes go into it as far as, hey, I'm going for the NFL or going NBA, whatever sport you play. It's always a dream to I want to play professional. So, of course, that was my dream as well. As I got closer to it, I realized that wasn't going to happen as much as I wanted it to. Had opportunities, Canadian League, this whatever, but I had a son, an older son. So my thought was to be able to get into those leagues, you need to practice or train as is your full-time job. I couldn't do that. I had to pay and provide for my older son. So I decided, let's just get straight into the workforce. Started selling cars at first, Chevys. So I did that.
We have a Chevy.
Yes, we do. We bought a 2016 Malibu from my ventures in that, thanks to me. But I did that for a good while, until what it was 2017, around August, lost my job.
So my side of the story, I was a regular old student at Southeastern Louisiana. I did not play any sports, and I worked pretty much all through college. I worked, two jobs all throughout college. And so when he graduated a semester before me. We were supposed to graduate the same semester. And then he moved out of his apartment around February. In the January?
I think my last month there was either December or January.
Yeah. And then he moved into my apartment, and we kind of moved together. That's what you call it.
Kinda. No, we definitely
moved together. Yeah. And he was working and I was working as well. So my major was basically teaching, and I did my internship at an elementary school, and my last semester I started working at a daycare. So when I finished school in May, I continued to work at a daycare, and so that was like through the summer, May, June, July. So what kind of happened when he lost his job and while I was still working, I got pregnant.
Yeah. For our first son, Casey.
Well, no, I got pregnant. And we had...
Oh yeah, we did.
You
We
forgot?
had.
Yeah,
No,
you
I didn't
forgot.
forget. I didn't forget. But I thought you was. I didn't think you was gonna mention that. Okay, so yeah, we
Yes.
had 2 miscarriages before we
So yes,
had.
I got pregnant the first time. It was in June.
Something like that. It was during
It
the
was like
summer.
June, the end
Yeah, it
of
was during the summer.
June, the beginning of July, and I found out I was pregnant. I was a couple of weeks, and then soon after I had a miscarriage, and that was like the worst experience I have ever had in my life, and I don't wish that on my worst enemy at all. And then
You got pregnant not too long after that.
then I got pregnant again,
And it happened
like
again.
in August.
Around that time, yes.
In August, and
It happened again.
I had another miscarriage. The doctor actually thought I was pregnant in my tubes, and she was going to give me medicine to kind of end the pregnancy, and then she told me to come to her office so that she can make sure. And I wasn't pregnant in my tubes, but like a week later, it had to be like a week, probably even shorter than a week later, I was, I felt myself kind of having the same symptoms before when I had my first miscarriage. And then I realized I was having another miscarriage. So I had my second miscarriage. So that was kind of, I don't know, that was during that time, that was a tough time for me because I had never, I knew what a miscarriage was, but my family is very fertile. So, like, my mom had me her first time having sex. My grandmother had 6 kids. Like, all my aunties never had a problem with um, having kids. Like, it just, I never experienced or heard of that, like, being a problem in my family. So, it scared me. And I think that's why when we really started, like, wanting a kid, I guess. I don't know. It really scared me. And I just wanted to find out, like, is something wrong with me? Um, am I going to have trouble having kids? It was just like a scary time. Like, nobody, yes, I used to say all the time, like, I don't want kids. I don't want kids. I want kids. But when somebody tell you you can't have them, it's just a different feeling. It's a totally different feeling. But going back to the story of why he joined the military. Well, this is part of the reason why he joined the military. Then, so we at around August now. He lost his job, so I was the only one with an income paying the bills. That we had.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but even before that, as far as like whenever I was working, she was working, or working, also part-time student or full-time student were working. It's just as far as our expenses, like we were, how can I say this, overstepping our boundary. Like we thought we had it covered, but we didn't. So a lot of times, as she would like to say, we was robbing Peter to pay Paul. So it's like, hey, this is due, but this is due too, which is the most important. Both were important, but it's like, hey, we kind of take a loss on this. We could pay half of this or this part of this, but we need to pay full of this. So that was another thing. I mean, it was just we left our apartment that we was in, went to another apartment, and it was just a thing of we just weren't like happy, like as far as not with each other, just as far as like where we were, as far as individually and as a couple. Like we knew we could do better. I mean, we both have bachelor's degrees. It's like, why are we struggling so much? So that played as far as in factor to it. I don't want to say it was just like, hey, let me join the military just to get away from it. but that played a factor into it.
Because he didn't. That wasn't his first option, just to join the military.
No.
He actually went got his
TWIC card, to work into the
and
plants.
he was applying for jobs every day. And he
Which
kind of gave himself a deadline to be like, okay, if I can't get employment before this time, then I'm gonna go ahead and go talk to a recruiter and kind of start the process.
Which, I mean, I had my father was Army. He was in the Army for about, what, 4 or 5 years. So he, my parents had already put that in my mind, Air Force, Army, whatever. So I had already kind of talked to a recruiter, but it wasn't so much of like, as far as me personally, just coming out of college, it wasn't something that I just wanted to do. I was like, man, I got a bachelor's degree. I'm not just trying to join the military. Like, and even if I had the thoughts of, hey, that's for people that don't know what they want to do out of high school, college not for them, join the military, whatever. My mindset was different. So I'd already talked to one. I don't want to say knew what it was, because when my father was in the military, he got out whenever I was like a few months old. So I really didn't know what that lifestyle was about. But I had family members that was in the military. She had family members that was in the military.
My dad, my stepdad,
her cousin who was still in the military. So like I just talking to different people, I was like, what's this like, what it has to do with whatever, and kind of got an overview of everything. But my boss, like I said, I had put a deadline on it because, like I said, we weren't happy, weren't really making money, was just trying to survive, and I knew that that's not the life I wanted, and me and her trying to build a family, that's not the life that I wanted for my family. So put a deadline to myself, like, yo, if things don't get better, or I can't get a plant job by here, because I had already paid the money for the TWIC card, got TWIC card, been applying different places. So I was like, if I can't get this job by then cool. I already talked to a recruiter. I'm on ease with it. I know what to expect. I'll go into it. And deadline hit. But honestly, by the time the deadline hit, at that point, I was already like, yeah, I want to join the military. Yeah. It's, if anything, I'll do 4 years. It'll give me some type of experience in a career that I could come out and be like, hey, I did this in the military. I want to do this in the civilian side. Yeah. So I talked to an Army recruiter. I actually had a good friend of my father who I had been talking with him about it. Him and my pops was in the Army together, and he was just giving me tips on it. He was real cool. Can't remember his name right now. I'm not gonna forget you. I will remember your name at some point. I'll shout you out in a different video. But for right now, just understand, I'm gonna just call you Unc. Because
Unc was the one who told him to get me pregnant.
No. But he did say that. But by that time, but by that time, she was already pregnant. So, but Unc.
But if I wasn't.
No, but Unc, I remember you. So, me and Unc had been talking, and he was just telling me different things. He was like, make sure you get the full truth from a recruiter, because me and your pops, we thought we was going into it for this, and it really was this. So, I mean, that was like the main obstacle of it, because my parents was really against it, especially my pops, because he was on some, they told me I'd be doing this. I got there, I was doing this. So that helped. Don't get me wrong, they was trying to discourage me, but it also helped me, because it's like, okay, I need to know all the information going into it, So
I think what helped him out a lot is that he didn't have just one person to.
I had multiple people to talk to.
Like, he had his side, his people, and then my people, and then like just regular people, strangers, like people that he knew that went into the military.
People that I worked with. People that I worked with at the dealership who was in the military.
Like, unbiased people to talk to as well. So it kind of leveled him out and kind of made his decision. Like, he gathered all the information, and then he made his decision based off what he truly thought was best for him. So that was good. But like, as before he was going through the process, because it's not like the Army, you have to do a lot of paperwork, you have to wait for that timeline.
The military period, because you have to take an ASVAB. ASVAB is required for you to join any branch of military, whether you go Navy, Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, whatever you do, you have to take an ASVAB. So I took the ASVAB, ended up scoring an 84 overall, 125. What's the GT score, which is mainly what the Army goes off of. Most jobs that you get in the Army is gonna go off of your GT score. So scored pretty high on that. So of course, Army recruiter, as soon as I went into the office, I didn't know my score, but I went in there. He was like, "Hey man, you wanna know what you got?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." He was like, "Hey, you got an 84, whatever. You get any Army, any job you want within the Army." So he's real excited. But I mean, it was a smooth process as far as getting involved.
But I was about to say, before, I just wanted to say, the whole process, it takes time. It's not like a regular job. You
Correct.
go to McDonald's and you go there. So as we were waiting for him to get into the Army, bills were piling up.
Accumulating,
so bills were accumulating, and we were still robbing people to pay Paul, and we were getting behind on a lot of stuff. So I was still working at this time, still really involved in school and my organizations that I were involved in on campus. And maybe around the end of September, beginning of October, I found out I was pregnant again.
Yes.
So, I think it was in September, because
I think it was towards the end of September.
Yeah, so
towards the end of September, yeah.
I was really, really scared, and to have another miscarriage. So I kind of, he backed me up on it, but I kind of decided to stop working, and I quit my job.
Yeah, but you ain't do that till I shipped off though. So it's like,
no, I'm talking about the daycare job.
Oh yes, the daycare job you did, but then you took a job on walk-ons because we were staying with with her best friend Ikea at her apartment.
How you know she wanted you to say her name?
My bad.
But yes,
Ikea shut you out. You my sister. But we were staying with her best friend in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
And we were staying in her guest room, and just she was go to work every day, and I was just getting ready, go on runs, do whatever, just getting ready to ship off. And then I officially shipped off October 31st. I left to go to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, where I did my basic. Did my AIT there as well. I'm a 42 Alpha. I'm a human resource specialist, which if you're in the Army, you know that Fort Jackson is home of the 42 Alphas.
Oh my God.
So
he loves his job.
Yeah, so I mean I did basic AIT there, and then I shipped off to Fort Benning where I did airborne school. I'm an airborne paratrooper. So
and if you want us to do more military videos, like what you should know before you join.
Yes, because that's one thing I was a football player in college, scholarship athlete, but it's way different. Like football is 7 to 10 seconds of energy that you exert, so you sprinting, but in the Army you have to know how to run 2 miles. You have to know how to do long rucks. So that was one thing that I didn't know how to do. So as far as conditioning and me getting ready, I'd go on runs, but it really didn't help because it was as far as me personally, I'm one person who I can do stuff on my own, but when I'm with a group and when I'm with structure, I do better. So I really was not ready. I don't even want to tell y'all my first ever 2 mile in the Army. It was horrible.
We can get into that in other videos if y'all want to see more about
the preparation and just everything that comes with it. So
why you should join, the pros and the cons. We can do that.
Yeah, I'll get into a small of that here, but so joined, shipped out October 31st. Basic, AIT, all in one place. Then I shipped off to Fort Benning.
Well, I'm gonna back you up a little bit. So I told y'all that I quit my job, and then we got married before he shipped off.
Correct.
So we did get married. I wasn't too upset, but he know that I really wanted a New Year's Eve wedding. Like I was planning out, I had my whole this and that. Again, don't forget our priorities was kind of because we was like broke, but um we did get married. We went to not to just, but we did it at a church. It was very small.
Very small.
Very small. It was like the Justice of the Peace. You could say that.
Yeah.
It was basically that. But we did that before he shipped out. And
who was the witnesses?
My best friend.
It was Akia and Brandon. Shout out Brandon. I don't know your last name, but wherever you at, shout out you, cuz. You know we cool.
And I'm trying to see. So after we got married and like, cause our wedding date, our anniversary is October. The actual one is October 19th.
But we got married on the 15th. So that's one thing we did. In Louisiana, you have to apply for your marriage license, and then you cannot get married until 72 hours after that.
Yeah.
So we did not know that. So we applied for our license the day before we got married. I got married on the 15th.
Yeah.
It was actually official on the 18th. 19th. 19th is when we actually went pick up our certificate and say, hey, we already got married. This is our thing. Yep. Picked up our certificate. So that's why our anniversary is on the 19th.
Yeah.
So it kind of was like, hey, do you want to do it on the 15th or do you want to do it on the 19th?
Yeah.
So we just did it on the 19th because that was the day we actually got our marriage certificate.
Yeah. So, so then he shipped off, and then I was starting to, be with pregnant. I actually told everybody on Thanksgiving. He wasn't there. I told everybody on Thanksgiving that we were expecting a little one, and then it was hard because I was living with the Army. He didn't get his first check until the end of November. Yeah. That was his first check. So we were like dead broke.
Hide in the car so they don't repeal.
Yes.
They don't report.
We were dead broke, and a lot of people really don't know like how bad we were like struggling. Like he was in basic, he was eating and stuff like that, but I was like literally living from pillow to post. And I remember when my best friend and a few other people found out that I was sleeping in my car. I think I told him, and he was like, I didn't tell you?
You didn't tell me you were sleeping in your car.
Yes, I did, because you was like really extremely mad.
Oh, you did tell me that. You did tell me that. Yes, I was severely pissed off about that.
You was like,
that was some personal shit that had happened, and I was very pissed off about that. So, yes, I remember that.
And like I was like literally sleeping in my car, and it just, I don't know, it was just a long couple of months, but I feel like we kind of did a lot of growing, and even though he was away, it still kind of made us closer in a sense. Oh, and our phone was off for like the longest.
Yes, we were broke. That's how you know we were broke.
Our phone was out. Like,
I don't want to say we're millennials because I think we missed that generation. But like we were on the edge of. I was born in '93. She was born in '92. But we on that edge of like phones or like our kids, like our 2-year-old son.
Not to me.
No, but like even if like I'm not saying our phone is like God, but what I'm saying is like. We grew up in an era where like cell phone usage was common. Like it's not like our parents where they was 20 something before it was like, hey, I got a cell phone. Like our 2-year-old son can work a cell phone just as good as anybody. Like he probably knows more than my grandmother as far as working a cell phone. So it's like I don't know. It was just, that was a big thing. That's when I knew, cause like, don't get me wrong, we didn't live and die by our cell phone, but it was like I knew it was like, damn, if we don't have us like our cell phones off, like we cannot pay for it. It's like, yo, we're cut from communication from everybody that we
Yeah.
know.
Like I would
Yeah,
literally have to like be with one of my sisters
yes. We'd
or
have to go to McDonald's to use Wi-Fi to send out
yeah,
texts.
have to be
Yes.
with one of my sisters. When he left, like he would call my sisters and be like, "Who Crystal with?" And hopefully I was by them. I remember one time I missed his call because I wasn't when he
was in
called.
Walmart. I
He
remember
was in
that.
call and like she was like, "Oh, she a woman," and she was running to me, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I cried like I was pregnant. So I literally cried because I could not talk to him and I missed his call, and I cried for a long time. And then you wound up calling me back, I
I think I
think.
did. Either I called back or Ikea called back. One or two. I think I called back later that night
Yeah,
because I was in
but
reception right before I went to basics, so we still had cell phone usage. So I called earlier that evening, and Ikea was like, "Hey, we're in Walmart. Let me get to it." And the phone service cut off. So then I think I called back later that night, and I got in contact with her because I think y'all was at her apartment.
yeah, so it's been like I've been with my sis Alex and he called her phone
I
like
did call Alexis one
yeah,
time too. Yeah, I
it's
remember
he
that.
was just he would have to call everybody to get in contact with me. I mean, when you in basic, you only have like
So many,
two.
yeah. You don't have, like, honestly, whenever we got there, whenever we shipped off to actual basic, we was able to call somebody because I remember that day because we didn't have cell phone usage. So I literally had to fake because I drill something was like, hey, call somebody. You have no choice. Call somebody and let them know you made it here safe. And that's the first call. That'll be the only call you have within a few weeks. So I remember we didn't have, like, I wasn't connected to Wi-Fi, so I couldn't call. So I literally picked up my phone and faked like I was calling somebody. I was like, hey, I made it here safe. Um, I'll give you a call sometime later. Love you. And acted like I hung up the phone. And my phone was literally on the menu. Like I couldn't call nobody. So I was like, damn. So then the next time I was able to call, what was that? See, I went to basic during a unique time. I went to basic in October, so we had victory block leave in December, which if you go to basic during that time, you know drill sergeants do not play about that. They will highly, highly, highly recommend, basically force you to be like, hey, you're taking leave. Like you're going home. Because they want to go home. And they know that the more people that stay behind, they be like, no, I'm not taking leave, the more drill sergeants need to be there to watch you. So that was about the first time I was able to call back was whenever I was calling her to be like, yo, this is my block leave dates. I'm about to book a ticket. This is when I'll be home from here to here. So that was about what, 4 weeks? Yeah.
So just like it was just a tough time. Like me and like I said, not too many people even know. So just me being like transparent right now, like it's where we come from. We will never forget where we come from. We always say that, like we will never forget where we come from.
We used to split
Like
4 for 4s and all
yes,
that.
like
We
we literally
broke.
spent like split 4 for 4s, or we'll go to Burger King and get
Use the
it
coupons,
the
yeah.
two Whoppers, and
Bro.
like it was extreme. But I mean, I feel like it was. And some people say, I mean, you have your own opinions about it. Some people think that joining the military is a cop out. Some people think that that it's a good thing, and some people are in the middle or in between.
Yeah.
But I feel like it kind of helped us get our lives on track.
Yeah.
Like,
because I mean, it's, and that's the thing. Like when I tell this story, I don't ever want people to think that it's a thing of, hey, I joined the military because we was broke and I needed something. Like it wasn't that. Like it's yes, that helped because it was like, yo, we need something to stabilize us, but it was also a thing of like, is to me, it's one of the best things I've done so far as far as making an own decision in my life. Because one, I love my job. Like I have no complaints. I mean, I have complaints, But that's with any job. Like any job you do, as far as a grown person, I don't care if you do
my job and I'm not in the military.
Not just that, I don't care if you like do something that you love. It's like, yo, this is always what I want to do. You're gonna have complaints. Yeah. So it's like if you look past those complaints, that's gonna come. Like I love my job. Like I even told her, like I love my job. Like I have no complaints about my job. Like as far as me personally, like I love my job, but it was just a thing of like that helped as far as nudging me closer. But I also had things of, hey, I can do this for 4 years and come out and, all right, I want to do human resources. Like there's great human resources opportunities within the civilian side. I could have chose something else as far as, hey, I want to do this, so I'm gonna go in the army, do this, get certifications, and then I'll come out and do some type of tech security job or just anything. Like the military offers so many opportunities for you that like is I won't say it's a no-brainer, but you have to understand what you're getting into. Like you have to take the military for everything that they're going to take you for. Because trust me, my first 3 years in the military, my first birthday was in basic. My second birthday was in NIE. Yep. So it's like you like they're gonna take from you. Like there's gonna be times where they're gonna take from you. This year, my son's birthday was on. I was in training, so I couldn't. By the time I got done with training, my son was asleep. Like I couldn't tell him happy birthday. I couldn't celebrate with him. Like so, the military is gonna take from you, but you also have to take from the military. There's buku opportunities for you to take as far as free schooling, as far as just getting certifications. Even if it's like, hey, I don't want a bachelor's, I don't want a master's, but I want this certification so that when if I get out, I could do this. Army offers it for you. The military offers it for you. So,
and it's all about what you make of it.
Correct.
And that's what everything in life. It's all about what you make of it. I feel like this experience, even if he was to get out the military next year, I mean his contract is coming to a close, so he has to renew it. Like he has to re-enlist basically. And so even if he gets out today, I always, and we know that we will never, and I hate to say never, but we won't ever get in the predicament that we were in before he joined the military. It's like we have learned and grown and just like we came so far to go back now. Like we have really came so far and we have kind of matured a lot with our finances alone. Just with our finances alone. Like I am a budget queen, okay? I'm a budget queen. Like when he got his first check, like I caught up on bills so fast. I was like paying stuff off so fast. When he got out of airborne school, because he went airborne, he jumped out of planes. Yes, he does. But like we had a whole furnished house, basically, like bed, living room set,
everything,
washer, dryer, like just
shout out to that $11,000 bonus I forgot. I'm going airborne now.
But it's just, I've learned so much about how to manage our money and how to, just make our money work for us and not working for our money every single day.
And we still learning.
We still learning. We have a lot to learn. We still, we're on our debt-free journey and trying to become debt-free. We'll be posting videos about that. That's my lane right there.
And finding different ventures.
Yes, that's my
Shout
lane.
out Boss, shout out Herm.
My God.
We got coming.
He is name dropping right now.
That's my brothers. Y'all know we got coming, man. Y'all
I'm not name dropping. He is doing all the name dropping, but because at one point I did think about, before he even joined the military, I was supposed to be in the National Guard, and I can tell my story another day. But they just tried to mess over me, so I wound up not joining. He called them the nasty girls.
That's a different story. We're not going to get into that. No, we're not going to get into the National Guard, Auto Reserve. We're not going to get into that.
But I was never against the military. I will never tell people not to go military.
Yeah.
I think it is a great option if
Correct.
that's something that
Correct.
you want to do.
My only suggestion, though, me personally, just from being in the military, I'll be 3 years in October. My thing is, how can I say this? I don't want to say I wouldn't suggest joining right out of high school, but I kind of wouldn't. Like, you need to live your life first. Like, because if you come straight from high school to military, like when you get out, especially if you're one of those people that you get in and then you get an MOS you don't like and you're not even trying to give it another chance, and then you're like, I'm getting out. Like, the civilian side is very different from the military side. Like, the military, as much as people try to say, oh, I hate it here, this is that, it's slavery, whatever, like, they pay for you to eat. They pay for you to live.
And we can get into everything, the pros and cons of being in the military.
Yes. I'm just saying an overview. Like, it's very different. Yeah. So that's why I always say, hey, go out and do a year of college, or even if college not for you, go out and just
do a trade or
just live life. Like, even if it's for 6 months and you just want to chill and just go hang out with your partners, do whatever for 6 months, do that. Because if you go straight from, hey, I graduate high school, I ship out a month later, when you get out, like, it's very different. Like, civilian side is very different. So I always tell people, like, everybody that I meet straight out of high school, and I'm like, you joined straight out of high school? I'm like, yo, you don't understand. Like, have a plan. Like, I'm an NCO now. I'm a sergeant. So, like, I try to, people that's like my soldiers, especially if I know that you joined straight out of high school, I'm gonna talk to you and be like, yo, you realize what civilian side is, right? Like, health insurance is very expensive. Dental is very expensive. Rent is very expensive. You live in the barracks now. You don't pay for rent. Like, all of that's very expensive. So it's like, that's my only suggestion. Like, if you a young kid watching this, like, and you thinking, okay, I want to join straight out of high school, my suggestion to you, if that's what you want to do, fine. But my suggestion is at least take 6 months to just live life and understand what civilian side is. So that way, you know, once you join the military, if it's not for you, because don't get me wrong, like, with anything in the world, everything is not for everybody. Like, you might join the military and be like, this is not for me. Cool. At least you know that, hey, when I get out of here, rent is going to be due. Health insurance is this much. Like, I need to pay for this so I can provide, especially if you join the military and you get a spouse, and now y'all have children, or even if you don't have children, just have a spouse. Like, it's you and that person now, so you need to make sure that person is straight.
I mean, that's why you see so many homeless veterans, because they get out the military because they're frustrated, or they think the civilian world is just so much better or easier, and they see how hard it is, and they can't maintain it, and then they start to think and realize how easy they had it in the military, or how much the military provided for them that they don't get in a civilian world. So you have a lot of homeless veterans. He just gave money to a homeless veteran outside of the Walmart that we go to, and he had 2 prosthetics. And it's like, you see that a lot. You probably see it more here because we're at a military town. It's a military town. It's one of the biggest army bases that they have, but
it is the biggest as far as population.
It is the biggest, but that's all over. Like, homeless veterans, it's all over, and that's part of the reason why. And another reason why I know my husband say, like, they do have a process of when you get out to kind of help the soldiers transition, but I do feel like when he was explaining it, that it could be way better, a way better process.
I mean, but even the things that they have in step, if you don't have a plan personally of what you want to do, then it's not like, you could go through all those programs and all of that, but if you don't know what you want to do personally, you're just gonna get out and be like, what's next? And that's not what you want to do. Like, I know people personally who had a plan, got out, and then 6 months later they're back in the military because it's like, yo, I didn't like that. Like, I went to school, I got this, I did this, but I didn't like that. So I mean, it's just, you just need to, like, if you join, especially as an 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid straight out of high school, like make sure you have a full plan of, yo, I want to do this when I get out. So that way it's not just I'm gonna just go to school, because I hear so many soldiers say, oh yeah, I'm gonna just go to school, and then you never hear anything of them again, because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna just go to school, and I mean, school's not cheap. Yeah. School's not easy, like so.
But if you have any questions that you want to ask about military, he will be happy to answer them. Just put them in the comment box below. We don't want this video to be too long, but we wanted to share why he did join the military, and kind of our backstory and how we got to where we are right now. Also want you to like this video and hit that subscribe button below, also that notification bell, so you can get updates.
Unless you're a leg. If you're in the military, you're a leg. Now lie. Subscribe to, because I'll try to convince you to
go airborne.
Go ahead and get your
and
wings.
Be in the
82nd. don't be a nasty leg.
But disgusting. Also subscribe, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can get updates on all the videos that we post. And
by the way, this is just a quick shout out for me. I'm starting to get into my chefing business, you feel me? I can do a lot of things Louisiana. I'm about to get into Jamaican and then Indian soon, so be on the lookout for them videos. Chef Landor, yes sir.
His food he made.
I made white beans. They was bussin'.
His red beans be good too.
Bussin'.
But he gotta give credit to what credit due, because my daddy taught him how to make them fire beans.
Shout out Mr. Rob. Shout out Mr. Rob.
My daddy taught him how to make the fire beans, but his beans do be good. They may be, when you do them right, they may be a little bit better than my daddy's. Just a little bit. But they do be good. But yes. Again, comment, subscribe, go ahead, like this video, because it does help our channel to grow. Make sure you share this video with all your friends, your family, anybody that you know that is talking about joining the military. He loves talking to people. He loves helping people. That's why he loves his job. He would not mind talking to you and giving you the scoop. And if you want us to do any videos related to military, just let us know in the comments below. And we are going to sign out. Bye. Until next time. Everything with the Landors.
Out of here.